Have you ever heard of NLP?
Yeah.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah.
So I went through that training when I was about 22 or 23. Became a master practitioner in it. Trained in hypnotherapy and all this kind of stuff, timeline therapy. And that was like the brakes lifted off. The mental brakes. Because we all have them, right? We all have these limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And these ideas that are often given to us by our family and influences that growing up. That's why I said earlier about the imprint phase is so important. The child's early years. But for me, once I went through that training and I became more self-aware of what was lurking and lingering within my mind that was holding me back from doing certain things, that was when the brakes lifted off and I was able to just run.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important.
Yeah,
totally. To be able to recognize that. What would you say was your sort of friction moments and
self-doubt? 100%. And I think the second book, it screamed with self-doubt. Like everything was like self-doubt, because I think it was screaming of self-doubt because the challenge was greater than it had been with the previous book, because what I wanted to do and the book and the value I wanted to provide was even greater. So greater levels of self-doubt equals greater product, at least in my example. Because I gave like everything to that. I was like spent after writing that. I wrote that in 4 different locations around the world. And it was just like, how can I write this story? How can I change things to be different? What can I share? But I generally think readers are definitely going to like it.
Yeah. So what was one of the greatest challenges of writing this book, do you reckon?
To write the second one, because you'll read the story, but there's a lot of like subliminal like twists and turns, and there's symbolism and there's imagery, but there's real suspense. So it's a self-help book that reads like a crime thriller.
Interesting. Okay.
So that element of like mystique and suspense was very hard to execute.
It's actually very different as well, because I don't know any. I've read a lot of self-help books. I don't know anybody else out there that's put it in a novel form, a story form.
Yeah. I mean, the best self books have been novels. I mean, Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I love that book.
Oh yeah, great book.
Incredible book. But I think with that has something very, very unique. It's a great like USP and a great cachet.
Yeah. Talking about the monk who sold a Ferrari. Let's talk about Mr. Robin Sharma himself.
Yeah.
Because this man, he has impacted my life greatly. I've told you many times, we've been friends for a long time, and I've told you this often, that your dad influenced me as a young kid.
Yeah.
Still does to this day. But what's it like growing up with Robin Sharma as your dad? Like, what is all that about? Tell me.
I don't look at as
Robin. Of course, you're going to see it a little bit differently to the rest of us, right?
He's just such an incredible dad.
Yeah, I bet he is.
He's such an incredible dad. Like we'd go away and we'd have a 2.5 hour, 3 hour meal, and it's guidance, but it's fun and it's inspirational, and it's not even like guidance in a formal sense, but it's so great to be around him. He's so inspiring. He's so supportive in this endeavor, in the law endeavor. Do it if it makes you happy, if you want to pursue it.
Yeah, I can't.
Not because it's programmed that way, but he's chuffed. He's like, that book, I'm so proud of you for writing that, and more so than writing that.
Yeah. I bet he's proud. He's in Italy at the moment, right? Or he's somewhere in. Yeah, I saw recently that he's with his sister and I think his wife as well. That's amazing.
It's been. I'm so grateful to be his son.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, are there any like defining moment or moments that stand out to you as a kid,
Yeah.
like growing up
Yeah.
with your dad? Like, what? Tell me about like.
Well, I think we all have a bias where only talk about happy memories, but I want to share one that's very personal but very poignant as well.
Okay, yeah.
So it was 2006, September time, and it was the time I had my learning challenge. And I remember, because I had to get tested before I go into the school, but it was a school much like the X-Men. You come in, but resiliency is your superpower you didn't know you had.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
And
I was quaking, and I was like 8.5, 7.5 years old. I'm like, Dad, do I really have to go here? He's like, yes, son, you do. But I'm here for you every single step of the way. But this will help you, and you'll get so much more from this. And that's an understatement, because it's that experience allowed me to flourish, law, this endeavor, other endeavors, and just how it shapes your mind. It was just such a profound experience. And I'm so grateful for that school and that moment.
Did he ever take you to show you his work? Like, did you ever? He talks all over the world, right? Yeah. Did you ever get involved in that?
I've seen the lab many times.
Oh, you've seen where the magic happens, right?
I'm just like, how do you cram everything into the space?
Yeah.
Just like, chaos there's real beauty in chaos.
Of course.
There is simplicity as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's a real master at what he does. I was in London a few years ago, and I didn't know that he was going to be there.
Yeah.
So I went to an event. It was a free event, one of those, and he was talking there, and I was in awe of him, because he was somebody, to see him in the flesh.
Yeah.
was a real honor.
Yeah.
Even though I'm stood way at the back.
Yeah.
I'm looking over people's heads and I couldn't really see what was going on, but I was just listening to what he was saying, and it was so real. There's a real authenticity to your dad.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he genuinely cares about what he's saying.
Yeah.
And the people that he's having an effect on as well. Yeah. He really does care.
It's empathy, empathy for your readers, empathy for your listeners,
Yeah.
If we all can have empathy, we all can build back better. We all can.
You're big on empathy, right?
Yeah.
You're big on empathy.
Because, we all, empathy is it's the only currency that we have, really. But we are too frugal with it at times.
Mm. Yeah. So do you mean, what do you mean by frugal? Like, explain.
We don't give it enough. We don't spend it. We don't share it. But so few people like that are empathetic, are authentic. And I think in post-pandemic, we have to become more empathetic, have to become more authentic. Especially, we're all underdogs. We're all in this moment together. There's nothing that divides us, in a business sense or in a familial sense. We're all underdogs. Now is the time to really get back to basics again.